every new BMW, there's always a ride height issue, and the correction for that is always lowering springs. For us, it's with AST because the ride is also really important for part of that development. For the lowering springs that AST developed, it's a 25mm drop in the front and a 20mm drop in the rear, which is gonna get rid of just the wheel gap that's here. That's pretty typical. That's also gonna give us a little bit of a sportier ride because it's a little bit stiffer, but it's just gonna correct the way that this is moving forward. And I know AST is also gonna come out with an ALS, which is an adjustable lowering spring. They're also gonna come out with full coilovers as well, which are also in development. But first things first, let's get this dropped on the lowering springs. Let's get it inside and Payton's gonna get started. Okay, so now we have the G90 M5 up on the lift. Payton is working on installing the AST lowering springs. If you guys remember, I said that the front lowering for the lowering spring is 25mm lower, which is getting rid of that gap. It's about an inch. Most people are gonna wanna run 21-22 or 21-21 all around. And you guys remember, factory wheels are 21 in the rear, 20 in the front, which I think is too small. But this is a subtle drop in order to run 21s up front, which is gonna be great. This is a big car, it needs big wheels, and a subtle drop is gonna help with that. And also the ALS kit that's gonna come out will also help with that because we'll be able to make those micro adjustments for different tires and different wheel fitment. So the AST spring is already up and installed in here. It's a replacement spring. You literally take out the factory spring, which is right here in my hand, and install the AST spring. Just swaps one for one. Very simple install, everything matches up. The coils on the bottom and the top are the same. They fit right in here for the purchase. These go right back in the AST box to go back to stock if you need to. There's also gonna be a secondary set of lowering springs that are a lot lower than our standard. This is the standard setup, 25mm front, 20 rear. The others will be more aggressive in the front and the rear, just bringing it down a little bit more aggressive drop for those of you guys that want to keep a lowering spring on it. The other thing I haven't mentioned is, one of the reasons to do only a lowering spring or only an ALS kit is you get to keep the ESC or EDC that's in the car, which is the adjustable suspension. You can still play with that. The dampers still work as factory. There's no lights, there's no nothing. Everything's the same except the spring changes. I'm gonna let Payton finish up with the front suspension install and then we'll move to the back and I'll walk you guys through back there. Payton has now finished up the rear installation, and the rear install on these cars is much different from what you'd see on a G80 because it is a true coilover rear setup, which is typical for a 5 Series all through the generations. But what that means for install is a lot of the interior components have to come apart for us to be able to access the actual top of the damper, which actually loosens it to bring it out to be able to put the springs and change them. The couple things you have to take apart, rear shelf actually has to come and slide forward. You actually have to take off the C-pillar back here, which is that pillar that connects the roof to the rear deck. So it's pretty typical on 5 Series, on new 5 Series and everything they have to do. They've actually made it a little bit easier on this car in comparison to an F90 and some of the other cars that we do, but it is a process you need to know what you're doing. Basically, now that everything's changed over, we're gonna get the car outside and we're gonna show you guys the difference with the AST suspension lowering springs and how it gets rid of that gap. Now that the AST lowering springs have been installed, we put a little miles on it. It's now at the final spot for lowering, and that's 25mm in the front and 20mm in the rear. This is a conservative drop for the M5 because this is, again, just a starting spot for the AST modifications. There'll be an ALS kit coming and also coilovers coming as well. These are now available in the US at any of your AST Moton dealers and also right here on the website at PSI. The last thing I'll point out is that this is a stock configuration on the wheels. There is no spacers. We will make a future video adding the spacers. Thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.